Hey everyone, welcome to Maths Chat. Today I'm going to be showing you how to multiply and divide surds. Now this has its own rules that are different to when we add and subtract surds, which is what I showed you in my previous videos. So let's have a look. I'm going to start off this video by showing you two examples where we would multiply two surds, and then I'm going to show you two examples where we would divide. So, looking at this first one, square root of 8 times the square root of 5. Very quickly I'm going to show you the surd rules, multiplying and dividing notes that I've written out. If we follow this, when we've got a number under a surd multiplied by another number under a surd, we can just multiply them together underneath a surd like this. So if I've got square root of 8 times the square root of 5, I can write this as 8 times 5. Now let's go ahead and simplify that. So that will become the square root of 40. And I can simplify that further by taking 4 out as the squared factor, like I've shown it in previous videos, leaving my answer as 2 square root of 10. For the next example, this is going to use this next part that I've written out. So when I've got a number outside a surd, multiplied by a number in a surd, multiplied by another number outside of the surd, multiplied by a number inside a surd, that is equal to the two numbers, so A and B, brought to the front, multiplied together, and then the two numbers under the surd also combined together under the final surd. Now you'll notice that this part is the same as up here. So the only difference is that now we're talking about when we've got numbers outside the surds. So if I've got 6 and 3 outside and 5 and 5 underneath, this is going to end up being 3 times 6, they combine out the front, times 5 times 5. So this will give me 18 square root of 25. And as you'll recall from when we're simplifying surds, this will simplify to 5 because the square root of 25 is 5. 18 times 5, and then I'm going to write my final answer, which will be 90. Because 18 times 5 is 90. So that was two examples where we were multiplying. Now let me show you two examples now when we'd be dividing. These two examples, square root of 32 divided by the square root of 8, and 8 root 6 divided by 2 root 3. This follows a very similar format to my previous questions, where the first one was just numbers under a surd, and the second example is numbers outside of the surd as well as inside the surd. And this is going to relate to these two notes that I've written here. So the square root of 32 divided by the square root of 8, and again, it can be written with just the 32 and the 8 and the square root of that entire fraction. So this is a really good way to simplify your surds easily. 32 divided by 8. Now, the square root of 32 over 8 stays as the square root, and then underneath the surd, I simplify 32 divided by 8. So that is 4. Now, since I can simplify this further because we can calculate the square root of 4 as a whole integer, my answer is 2. The next example, 8 root 6 divided by 2 root 3. Again, I'm going to follow the same process as I did with this one, where I put it in a fraction, 2 root 3. Now, 8 divided by 2 equals 4, and that is 6 over 3, that next part. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So my answer for this one will be 4 root 2. And that is how you divide surds. Thanks for watching my tutorial today. Please hit like and subscribe to my channel, and also post any comments or questions that you have below. If you want to know more about SURDS, please check out my previous 2 videos, which are simplifying with addition and subtraction, as well as how to simplify an individual SURD on its own. Bye.